This is the Loop Logic Podcast. I am the man, the myth, the legend, Reggie Robinson, and I have another guest with me today.
I just stabbed the fuck out of you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you got them. What the hell? I can't.
Yeah, this one's hanging on by a limb.
That bitch is sharp for real, too.
Yeah.
Let me see.
They're for my birthday. Yeah,
That's I seen that. What, 21, right?
Yeah.
Hey. But this is my guest for today. First time on the pod. Chxrelle.
Oh my god.
Is that what you going by?
Yeah, Chxrelle.
Chxrelle. You got English. First time on the pod.
Of my own, but
Podcast?
yeah.
Okay.
I just don't know how to set it up. I mean, there's YouTube videos and all that, but like,
I just did my research. When I found out about it, I think right afterwards I just started doing research because I wanted to get into it, and I probably started that shit like a few months after. Like a few months after I listened to my first podcast.
Yeah.
I just kept it going.
Was it expensive, like setting it up?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
The most expensive part would be equipment.
Yeah.
But like the actual like online setting up part, no, it's not expensive.
Oh, so you don't have to have like a streaming subscription like for a company. Like I've seen some people you can do it for free and you can just stream, and then some of them like you have to pay.
Yeah, that's what it is. And like mine, I pay for mine. That's how I have this whole thing.
Okay.
But let me show you. I don't know if that page is still up. But I go through Spreaker. It's just like called up a podcasting host. And mine's I paid for. I think it's like $20-something. But they give you a certain amount of recording hours. Okay. And that's how I have like this whole dashboard type of shit. Get a few sound effects and stuff, so
like, I'm just like interested now. Okay.
And
then you use the clips that's on there to edit it and like change it up, or do you just like instantly post it after?
These are just all episodes that I posted.
Okay.
Like, these are just all my episodes. But nothing to say. What do you say, clips?
Yeah, like do you cut it up by yourself?
All of that stuff I'd have to do myself. Okay. Like cutting, editing. That's all the clips. But this is just recording on Audacity, like how we doing now. Recording here. Doing all your edits here. Export that and upload. So that's it.
I might have to pay for someone to do all that.
I taught, like, when I say everything, like all of this shit, I taught myself everything. I used to make music like back when I was in 9th grade, but I never did none of the stuff on the computer.
It word.
No.
Every nigga was a music nigga.
Everybody said that shit.
Everybody wanted to be a rapper.
Actually, one of my friends actually taught me into that shit. I didn't really want to do it anyway. That's why I don't do it now. I ain't give a fuck.
It wasn't a passion.
Nah, not really. As soon as that nigga talked about starting doing shows, nah.
We're going on a tour.
Right.
We putting our city on the map. Like, what? It's literally already on the map.
But the ones I have on my show, like I say, like those are the ones who I feel like actually got some talent. So,
like Mr. Benzo.
Yeah.
Miss him.
When he was on what, last week?
Yeah.
What was that? The Lost Files.
So like, do you do them weekly or bi-weekly?
I try to do it weekly, but it's tough sometimes. I try to drop them once a week, or if not every 2 weeks.
Okay, and then like you always have a guest, or like?
I try to.
Yeah.
So you just gotta find some guests. If you had to, you have to do something by yourself. I do that too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
You just have to. The only thing about that I fucking hate, bro, like when I try to say something that is supposed to be a joke, There's nobody here to laugh.
You gotta click the.
I mean, no. Well, sometimes I do it like in a sarcastic way.
That's true.
But I don't know. It be some shit. I say it and I don't know. I feel like it's weird if I laugh at my own jokes.
I be laughing at my own jokes.
It depends though. It depends. I done got more used to it now, but it'd be hard for me to just stare into a fucking black circle and just talk.
That's my issue. I can't look at the camera. I'm like.
The only thing that helped me is having it flip towards me.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, but that's one thing you gotta get used to.
Looking at the camera.
Yeah.
You do it like you have to just talk to the camera, or do you like?
I just talk to it as if it's a person.
Oh, true. Okay.
That's how I do when I podcast by myself. I just talk to the mic as if it's somebody else.
Oh, word.
That's it. It ain't hard.
Yeah, I mean, watching someone do it isn't hard.
It take practice.
Yeah.
That's me. What? This has been 4 years for me.
Whoa. I mean, yeah, I've known you when you first started. Like when you like kind of first started. It was about like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Damn.
2019. That's when I started.
Damn.
February 2nd, 2019.
Whoa.
Long time. 4 years podcast. 4 years old, nigga. But
did you celebrate it?
What did I do? Really just like coming back strong with a new logo and just getting new equipment. Like everything. I'm just leveling up.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But what did you say you want to talk about? You said emotional growth.
Yeah.
Right.
So I wrote a couple things and I was like, okay, maybe these can be like just like in the conversation that like we can like bounce off of. But like when I was talking about personal growth, it's more me. Like I don't have to talk to anybody else about it, but like genuinely just me growing by myself, and like nobody else knows what's going on. Like they may think I'm just doing some crazy stuff behind the scenes. How do I get to it? But it's like when I'm home, I'm healing, I'm resting, and like that is growth. You're giving yourself time to go back to you. Like, everybody thinks it's selfish to like go inward. It's not selfish to go inward or to question yourself or to think like, hey, I want to be here for myself. I want to talk to myself. I want to be alone. Right. And it's okay to be alone. And I feel like growing up is being okay with being alone and giving yourself time to rest. Because some people are like, oh, I'm about to grind. I'm going to grind every day. I'm going to work every day. I'm going to make this money. And that's for them. But like, they're not okay. Like they're hurting inside. They need rest. They need to heal. I used to ask people that when I was a supervisor. I remember it was a Spanish dude I used to work with, and I mean, not to sound racist. Oh Lord, here we go.
But listen, you know how some Spanish people is. Like most of them come from a big family or they come from poverty, so they just used to working, and some of them started working at a young age, so that's all they used to. Yeah. But like just like what you said, just people just get so comfortable with working, and I don't know if it's just working and being the man or providing for your family. Like that's cool, and I understand that's what you gotta do. But like you say, I still feel like it's important to have time for yourself. Shit, that's why I be inside. People like, talking about going out, like, yeah, we can go out, but shit, how long is it gonna last? I gotta get back to me. No, for real. And you gotta think about it, like, being yourself and, like, taking time to yourself, it's more than just being alone in your room. Or, like, you know, just being alone. Like, you can go out in public, but spend that time alone, you know, like, go get some food alone, you know, like, take a walk by yourself. I'm not saying, like, completely shut yourself out and, like, you know, go into hermit mode, but I mean, like, meet new people. Like, it's healing that part of yourself that isn't talking to the same people every day, talking to the people that drain you every day, you know, like, just
having a new experience at least once a day.
So what? Did you grow up in a big family?
It's kind of hard to say because like my interpersonal families, like my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, all them, they were near me, but they weren't close to me. Okay. So like I had a big family in the sense of numbers, but not in the sense of like they were close. Like we weren't family oriented. We weren't.
So how many was in the household growing up?
Okay, my grandma, my grandpa, me, my aunt, my uncle, and keep in mind I was born when my mom was 18. So everybody else was younger than her. She was the oldest. Everybody else was like in their 16s, like mid-teens. Like they were a kid when I was born. So it was like my aunts and my uncles were like my brothers.
Oh,
so they weren't my brother and sister, but I was the baby in the house when they were still growing up. So it's like my mom was 18. She was the oldest. My aunt was like 7. My uncle was like 12. You know what I mean? Like, they saw me as like their baby sister, but they're my uncle and my aunt. So when they all left, it was like my brothers and sisters left. I was like, damn, like I'm technically alone. But the thing is, I have a brother and a sister, but they have a different dad. Yeah. So with that, we don't have the childhood bond of like being with each other every day, you know, like growing up as a family. But I saw them like special occasions or like if they came to the house randomly on the weekends and like spent the night, but like we weren't close. And we follow each other on Instagram, we talk to each other, we, you know, but like we don't feel like family. And that's what I mean, like the numbers are there, but like the connection isn't. So it's like, are they really family or are they just blood? And I'm like, I don't want to see it like that, but that's just the way it is. Like, yeah. We may grow up with a bunch of people in our life, but they're not supporting us or they're not making us feel loved. So it's like, are you really someone I should say that's in my life or just, you know, in proximity of me? Like,
so who do you consider your family?
It's weird because like I have family members who are family, but I would say like my friends in a way that is weird. Like I wouldn't say like my mom and dad. Like I see my friends as like my mom and dad, but like brother and sister. Like I don't see my best friends as like my best friends. I see them as family. Like I wouldn't treat them as like somebody that I could see as disposable. Right. You know, like I would treat them as my own. And it's like even like the little Kroger family we had that, you know, shortly disbanded, but it's like having those people that make you feel like you can just be yourself. Like I can't be I can't be like this with my family. Okay. You know what I mean? Like they'd be like, why are you cussing? Or you know, like why are you being
that's what I was gonna ask. Like whoever you look up to or talk to as a kid, as a mom or dad or whatever, did you ever feel comfortable enough to tell them whatever?
No. And that was like really disappointing because like I would be dealing with bullying or like even if I dealt with a sexual assault, I wouldn't feel comfortable telling my mom because like I would feel like she would judge me in some way or like she would question all the wrong things. Like why were you there? Or like who was this guy? Or like what made you do this? Instead of like, well, how did he make you feel? Or like what happened?
Was she strict?
Yeah. She was pretty strict. Like she made me feel like I couldn't be outside. My grandma was more like that, and I was raised by her mainly. And then my mom, she came into the picture when I was older. So like, my mom wasn't steady in my life, but she was in my life enough to know that she wasn't my mother figure, which was like disappointing. But like, she was a young mom, so it was like I couldn't. Growing up, I'm now like I can't be mad at her because she didn't even know how to be a mom. But it's like she's old enough now to be one, and I'm like, if she chooses not to be my mom, then that's her choice. You know, it's like I'm old enough to know better. But my grandma was very strict, straight from the island. Like, still has the accent, still cooks the food. Like, that woman is Caribbean at her heart, and like she raised me.
Wait, what island?
St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands. Like. That is Caribbean, okay?
Just from the people I know from the Virgin Islands, the motherfuckers are crazy.
Crazy. Like, crazy.
Off the wall crazy.
Like, So, even talking about sex, like, they would tell me, like, don't have sex. And I'm like, 5 or 7, and they're telling me about like what sex is and stuff, and I get it, like the birds and the bees, whatever, but they were more so like fear mongering to the point where it was like, don't do this, don't do that with boys only want one thing, like just making me feel like everybody was out to get me. And I'm like, the world is not here to out to get me. If I think the world's out to get me, then the world's gonna be out to get me. Simple. But if the world is truly coexisting with me and I can just, be myself and give my authentic self out, authenticity will come back. And I was realizing when I was fear-mongered and like, being really strict, like my parents were being strict on me. I don't know how to explain it. Like when I was being influenced, if that's a good word, like I wasn't being me. I was being controlled. I wasn't giving my 100%. I was hiding myself, so I was protecting any little part of myself from being exposed. There was parts of me, like I liked to sing and I liked having like dolls and stuff like that. And like I could show them, but they didn't understand it. They would still question it. It was like, okay, well, everything I like, I'm not gonna even talk about it. I'm gonna just keep it to myself. And it created like this outer layer of me that was really shy, which I'm not a shy girl. Like I'm really.
So this is when you was younger or older?
Younger.
Okay.
I was really shy, and like when I would be at school, I would be hyperactive and be like talkative, and they'd be like, "Why don't you shut the fuck?" Like trying to censor myself because there's a camera. But I was like, why don't you shut the fuck up when you're at school, but then you're at home and you're quiet? And it was like, I wasn't completely quiet at home. Like I would still have my moments of like, being goofy, but like I wouldn't be this way face to face to them, like where they knew like, oh, that's just Chxrelle. Like if they met my friends and then my family, they'd be like, why are you friends with these people? Like these people don't match you at all. And it's like, because you don't know me at all. It's like they don't know me at all.
I get that, because I mean I have family and I grew up in a big household. Like I have now I have 6 brothers and 4 sisters. But I grew up with 5 brothers, 3 sisters, all in a 2-3 bedroom trailer. Okay. So it was a lot of us in the house, and even with me having a bunch of family, I felt the same way. Like, I mean, I got a twin brother, of course.
Oh, word, yeah.
Yeah, Bernard.
I think I remember you telling me, but I've never met him.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew him. But I have a twin brother, so if anybody in the household, that was the one who I was most, closest with.
Yeah.
But I definitely had friends who I consider family, and I don't know why. My family say the same thing. They call me nonchalant and stuff, but how the fuck can you call me nonchalant when I do a podcast?
You're really not, though. Like you're more just like, you're mellow, but you can react to stuff. Like you have like a personality. You're just not gonna show it to people that might judge you. And it's like, that is the definition of protecting your peace. It's like you can't give your peace to people who are going to destroy it, and then when they're asking you, oh, what's wrong? Why are you acting like this?
Right.
Tell them, because they're just going to use that against you again. It's like, you can't heal in the place that's destroying you. And I'm like, if I'm in a place that's making me feel disturbed, I'm never going to be at rest.
Okay. So that makes me understand more about the job.
Like, at Kroger, I was fine when it came to, like, we had a little family. Every day I could see these people and, like, have a little rest and know that, like, I could talk to them and, like, I could see them every day and we could relate to the same thing and, like, make everybody feel better. Like, Joelle, what's his name?
Well, me,
Roger,
Chris, Roger,
Eric, everybody,
Joelle,
Blair. Everybody just had their own personality, and we respected each other enough to allow each other to be their own personality and not like shine on each other or like pick on each other. Like we were just a safe space for each other. Like for the entirety that everybody was there. Like you guys didn't care that Blair was asexual. You guys let him be. You know what I mean? Like, and I loved that. I was like, everybody had Chris. I don't know if we said Chris. Everybody had their own place, and it fit. It wasn't like no way felt out of place. And then when it disbanded, oh my god, like Kroger got really hard. It got really hard.
I heard that from a lot of people.
Really hard.
I heard that from a lot of people. Like even do you remember? I even had text me and tell me like how much Kroger changed. Like it's changed a lot. Like a lot. She was on the day shift.
Yeah, I see her like randomly, and it's like a little surprise, but like
right.
Because I work at 4:30 now. Like she comes in at like 7:30 a.m. I leave at 4:30 a.m. Like, I never see her.
Yeah.
But when I used to stay longer, because we had to do, oh my god, for like 2 months we were doing 10-hour shifts or 6-day, and I'm like, bro, I get it. 10-hour shifts, like that's bread. But at the same time, 5 days a week, and then on top of that, we don't have time to rest. Because I was in the freezer at that time. Even people in outbound, even people in inbound, you know that work is not hard. Like, I mean, it's not hard work, but it's hard to maintain at a like rapid pace how fast they want us to do it. Like bump it out, and I'm like,
right.
Like I need to breathe. Like you're making me breathe CO2 on a daily basis with barely any ventilation around me to get oxygen again, and then expecting me to go into a place that's hurting my lungs because it's cold. It's below zero. How am I supposed to breathe properly if I'm also moving at a rapid pace because I'm trying to move at a fast pace, get this shit done. And then on top of that, I'm padded in layers because it's cold as fuck. Keep in mind, I'm anemic, so like I have to be warm or else I'm gonna get too cold and then I get sick. And I don't like getting sick when I'm in the freezer because it really fucks me up. Like I can't run anymore, and then I have to take time off, and then I have to like heal up, and like it's not the shit. It's not the shit, bro. Yeah. Like so I gave myself a few days for my birthday, and I was like, okay, I don't want to go back. Right. And I wasn't gonna go back, and I really was not like
down.
So I had a great time for my 21st, and it was like my last day, and I saw this video on TikTok, and this guy was like, don't end stuff on a bad end, because it's gonna end up carrying on with you for the rest of your life. If you have no closure at something, you're just gonna sit there and wonder what could have been. When at the end of the day, I didn't want to leave Kroger because I needed the money. If that's your job, why are you quitting your job because you are like tired? If you need rest, don't quit, just get rest. And that was what I wanted. I just wanted to rest. And when I got the rest on my birthday, I was like, okay, Kroger, it's not resonating. So I came back to work, and I really wasn't gonna come back. I told my best friend I'm not coming back, but I came back because I only had 2 days that week because I took off, and then like I only had 2 days left. So, or I had 3 or some shit. But the day I came back, I picked 1,000. Now keep in mind, 1,000 picks in the freezer is above average. Average is about 700 to 500 a night. So I picked 1,000 with these nails on. Didn't break a single nail.
Damn.
I broke a nail I broke all these this week. Literally this week.
Oh fuck.
And I've had these since March 31st. Month now.
Oh, okay.
I have an appointment, y'all. Decent. Like, look at this shit. This shit nasty. But anyway, and so I picked 1,000, and then afterwards I went upstairs to the OMs, and none of them were there. And I put a letter of resignation on their desk, and I just left. And then I come back to work, and I'm picking, I'm doing my thing, and then my supervisor comes up to me, and she's like, were you serious about that letter? And I was like, dead ass. Like, I'm leaving. Like, I don't care where I have to go, I'm leaving. Like, and she genuinely could not leave. Like, she couldn't let me leave. She was like, I don't want to lose you. Like, you can sign this at the end of the day. Like, it's like, I had to sign like the actual paper. Like, they were like, you can sign it at the end of the day, but like, please just like give it some time to like really think about it. I've been thinking about this forever, girl. Like, this is my only time that I've actually decided. Like, I've been like, it's been back and forth for the past like months. Keep in mind, like months on leaving, and then I finally made up my mind that I wanted to leave. And she's like, no, like I can't leave. You can't leave. Like I can't lose you. And I'm like, well, I want to leave. And she was like, how about part-time? And when she said that, and I tell you, when she said part-time, like all of my problems just disappeared. I was like, yo, like, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even, like, it didn't cross my mind. Like, part-time, like, I only work 3 days a week with an incentive, and then, like, I've been there for a year, so I have the year upgrade plus the nightly upgrade. So, like, I have all these little premiums, so it's like leaving it would be stupid, especially if they're sitting here not letting me leave. Like, if I was any other dusty nigga, they would have told me sign this shit, bro, you're good to go.
That is true.
They would have cleared my ass, bro. Like, they wouldn't even let me pick anymore. They would have just fired me.
Yeah, they would have let you go that night.
Like,
would have been gone.
My badge wouldn't have worked.
They let me go during after lunch, I think.
Literally.
In the middle of the fucking day. Yeah, it's 2:00 in the morning, nigga. I had to go home.
Like, they're ruthless, bro. And they sat there and told me they don't know. I don't know if I fucked anything up. But they sat there and were like, I don't want you to leave. Like, for an hour. We're talking. Like, people are behind me running laps on my numbers because, like, I'm sitting here talking to my supervisor. And, like, she really didn't want me to go. And I was like, hey, bro, I'll do part-time. You know, I'll work the 3 busiest nights and have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off. Thank you.
Right.
And
can't argue.
Right? Like,
hey, fuck it.
That is how you get what you want. You do everything you're supposed to do, and then you give them no choice. Like, it's not that I've told them I have not wanted to leave the freezer, because really, the freezer was really killing me. Like, my lungs, my legs, my skin. Oh my god! Like, I wasn't getting any sun. My skin was depleting. We're melanated. We're melanated. We need the sun, and I wasn't getting sun.
Plus, you were working overnight.
Plus, I was working overnight. I was pale as fuck. I wasn't eating properly because I would sleep as soon as I would get home. I felt like unhygienic. Like, some nights I would just pass the fuck out in my clothes. Why the fuck am I passing out in my clothes, bro? Like, there's no reason. I was depressed because, like, I want better for myself. Like, I didn't have, like, we were talking about that self-growth. Like, I wasn't making time for myself. I had no time for myself. Like, working a 6-day, oh my god, bro. Like, no, I'm good off that. Like, I know that I want to be creative, and since being part-time, I've been back on my creativity. I've been able to go out. Like, I'm able to do a podcast. You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to ask. Like, what is the stuff you do creative at home?
Well, my Instagram, I've been heavily back into fashion design. Not even, like, actually creating pieces, because I want to. I want to learn how to sew. I want to learn how to do stitch work and patchwork. I want to learn how to make accessories, jewelry, rings, headpieces. I want to learn everything that comes with fashion with time. Like, I don't want to just rush it and then, like, be one of those corny niggas that make everything and then, like, flop, and then they're like, I'm not good at anything. Like, I want to perfect these skills to the point where, like, when I drop something, everybody's like, whoa, you know, like, I want to perfect my skill, and I wasn't having time for skills or even to find out what skills I want to perfect. Now that I know what I want, I'm like, give it time, you know. Like, I have the time now, I have the energy now. It's not all about the money. Like, I know the money will come if I find what I really want to do.
So do you have anything that you, like, made personally that you wear?
Well, not on me today, but I remember back when I was really into thrifting, I made this piece where it was like,
fuck with the thrift shits.
Yeah. My whole fit is thrifted. This boondock shirt is thrifted. These are some Guess pants. And then Air Forces and socks. Those are not thrifted though. I basically made, I cut up a sweater. I made arm warmers and like a little top. And it was like a tube top. I don't think I have any pictures on my Instagram of it. There's the leg warmers, but it came with the top. And like, I was so happy. I was like, it was such a simple little thrift flip, and I was like, I feel beautiful. Like, I could do this. Like, I could actually do it. And then, like, I lost all creative motion. And I was like, I was done. But I still make fits. Like, fits are still something that, like, are heavy on my mind every day. I'm like, what can I wear before I go? And I was like, maybe I should wear something cool, but I was like, honestly, like, just pull up with something that's like dope. Don't pull up in something that's like flashy. Like, just pull up in something dope, like, and call it a day. But it's like, me personally, I want to make pieces. I don't want it to be like wearable fashion necessarily. Like, yeah, you could wear it and it could be like a little staple, but like I want it to be like art. Like, I see fashion as art. Like, I see our body as art. Okay. Like, nails are art. Everything that comes with a human that is beyond natural, like, it can be used as art. And I'm like, okay, even like our bodies are natural and it can be art, but like some people think those girls are trashy, but like it depends on how you're making that art. If your target audience is to, you know, seduce men, and you're like posting like half naked stuff and it's like targeted to produce like for men. If it's in the male gaze and you're trying to like only have men look at you and like pay for you, like that's a different intention as like you're posting this for like the female gaze, kind of like you're posting it for like art or like for like a magazine cover. And
I see it in your pictures. Like, it's not only the clothes, it's the angles,
like
it's the lighting, it's the background, like the setting, wherever you choose to take the picture, how you take the picture. Like, you can take it like straight forward. You can take with like more angled this way, like turn it this way, aim it up, aim it down. Just like, I see it.
It's all about the eye, and if you don't have the eye, it's gonna look kind of tacky if you're trying to copy the eye. If you're trying to like see it from somebody else's angle, but you don't have their like perfection to it, like if you're just copying somebody because they're making money off of it, you're not going to make it the way that they're making it, because they're authentically making it. Like,
you can tell which ones be trying to like copy somebody. And that shit looks so fucking corny.
It's so corny. That's why I'm like, perfect your skills before you try and make everything about money, because you'll get the money even if you don't perfect your skill. You know, there's people on TikTok who do like those like stupid little dances. They go viral, right? They're making all this money, but they can't maintain it because they don't have a skill.
Oh my god!
You just sat here and made money off of something that you're copying, but you can't even produce something new because you never made it. I say that
so many fucking times, bro. Like, bro, I say that so much, bro. I always say it's gonna be a time where all these little clout chasers who done blew up and done went viral, it's gonna come a time to where you have to really show your talent, and then when that time comes, your ass gonna crash and burn.
Yep. And it's deeper than like that, because like, yeah, they have the access to stuff that we don't. They have the resources to like get the tabloids, get like people to watch them. You know what I mean? They have the eyes on them, so they have power necessarily. Like, hold on, I gotta fucking burp.
I think it's that they have more charisma than skill,
and they also have like the look. You know what I mean? Like, pretty people will get whatever the fuck they want, and that's just the plain truth. Like, if you look the role, you're gonna get it. Yeah. And I can't be mad at it, you know, but we also have to realize, like, if it's not my fight, I can't win. And it's like, why am I trying to fight a war that is like, I'm not even part of it? Like, at the end of the day, white people are going to bleach everything. That's just the plain. And we're gonna be like, oh my god, racism. But it's just plain truth. Like, not right now, at least, because they're trying to integrate, you know, having black people be in the commercials now, you know, the mixed families in the commercials. But it's a historical thing. You can see it and you can't deny it. For America, at least. I'm not going to say every fucking country is like this, have been bleached, but it's like America was like that for a big part of history. You can't sit up here and argue it. It's just facts. And it is something that we as people today have to learn about it in history. It's just white people, and what they've done, what they've discovered, and what they've, you know, contributed to society. And then us as African Americans, or like Caribbean Americans, or like anybody that is of color, I should just say that, like, even Hispanic people have to deal with it. Even though, like, they might fit the color spectrum of a white person, they won't fit in with a white person. That's just, they're not going to have the cultural similarities to be in the white table. Like, a white person is still going to see a Hispanic person as lesser than them, even an Asian person. And that's just the way that I've noticed the white target audiences. Like they would prefer their own, and I can't be mad at it. You know, we as Black people would honestly prefer our own. That's just like it's just. I don't know if it's a genetic thing. I don't know if it's like a human nature thing, but like today, now that everybody's, you know, mixed in together, it doesn't fucking matter. It really, like, nobody fucking cares who you're fucking with or like who anybody is, but there are the people that do care, and the people that do care are in power. You know, the people who are in Congress, and yeah, there's a few Black people, there's a few Hispanic people, but the head people, the people that have always been in power for the longevity of like history that we learn, at least, like we're white people, and that's just the way that it's been taught to us. Even if we try to deny it, like we can't sit here and be like, that isn't what they taught us. Like they taught us that Christopher Columbus did this and George Washington did this.
So you're telling me that white people are racist?
Very much.
No shit. Oh shit.
And it's not even like I'm trying to say every white person believes this shit, because there are, you know, there's the white people who are like for the people. You know, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yeah, the fucking we the people type. Like what the fuck?
They're for us, I guess, but it's like I can't speak for them. But those people are the people that are supposed to speak for us when they're in those rooms. And a lot of times they choose to say the wrong things, and that's the shit that pisses me off. Because it's not that I hate white people for being in the higher power, it's that they choose to say all the wrong shit and just win and conquer and choose each other. That's the problem. If they were to choose other people, I wouldn't have a problem. You know, like if they were actively making a change for people, and like it's not that they haven't. Like I'm not saying that this has never happened and that this is never gonna happen, but it's like we don't see it to the point where everybody believes it and we're united in the same exact way.
Right.
We all think that certain white people are racist. We all think that certain Hispanic people are racist, you know. Even certain Black people to their own are racist. There will always be the overseer.
Some racist ass Black people out there, boy.
There will always be an Uncle Ruckus, okay? No matter what, there's gonna be an Uncle Ruckus who is going to tell all of our business and reveal all of our secrets, and they will be the ones that get the money and reveal our secrets, who are in the higher power rooms as well. And that's the shit that pisses me off, because it's like, it's not that the Black people aren't there, but a lot of the times those Black people are not for the people. Like they're not for us. Like they think we're scum. I think we're nasty. We're the Black people that need to be in the projects. You feel me? Like that's the way that they see a lot of our community, and that's just the way that it's been for a lot of years. And it's like trying to reverse it is never gonna happen. We have to we've learned to just adapt and like grow within it and like make it into art. You know, a lot of stuff like our hair, we were told like we couldn't wear natural hair, so we didn't, and we made cool hairstyles out of it. You know what I mean? Like Black people adapt, and that is just something we're so fucking good at, and I love it. But it's like we have to adapt instead of just being comfortable in who we are, and that's what makes me so upset, because like I will have to adapt in a room full of white people to feel comfortable, instead of just being who I am to be comfortable, if that makes sense. Like I can't just be comfortable. I have to code switch.
You feel like we have to adapt.
Yes, we have. We are literally genetically trained to adapt. And then a lot of white people, they feel like, well, what are we adapting? We don't learn how to cook. And I get it, like I don't know how to cook, like chef it up, but I know I can ask my grandma and she can teach me recipes, and I can learn how to make amazing dishes. Whereas a lot of white people might feel like, well, my mom doesn't know how to cook dishes. I've been eating the yellow fucking cheese my entire life. You know, I feel like I've been eating school lunch my entire life at home. So it's like I can't be mad at them. I can't be mad at them for not knowing how to clean properly. You know what I mean? Or like how to wash their ass properly. Like they just use soap. Like you don't use a washcloth, they just use soap. And there's a debate on like if washcloths are like nasty. Like if you're washing your washcloth, you know, disinfecting it, like putting in the fucking washer. Yeah, like that's all you gotta do. Like just use.
Man, oh god.
Like, what do you clean a surface with? Are you gonna use your hand to clean a surface? No, you're going to use a cloth, or you're going to use like a napkin to clean the surface.
Right.
Like, we are a surface, so we need something to clean it off. Like, our hands can only do so much, and then when we're done using our hand, it's probably going to transfer onto our hand. Like,
right.
you know, like, that's just my thought. But it's like also like, yeah, bacteria on the washcloth. I'm like, just get a new fucking washcloth. Right. But whatever. But it's like, the cultural differences will never not be there. Mm-hmm. And that is what divides us. Like, at the end of the day, like, as somebody that is West Asian, I think it's West Asian, so like Indian, like mm-hmm. the like actual like India, like, I think they are so much, they're so different than like somebody who is, I think it's East Asian. I think I'm getting them confused, but there's like actual Asian, like mm-hmm. like Chinese, yeah. And then there's Indian, who is like, they're still in the same continent, they're still in Asia, but they're completely different. Right. And they will see each other as completely different because of their cultural differences. And it's like, it's not that we'll never have a cultural difference in Black people and white people and Asian people. That's not, it's going to happen forever. But it's like, why can't we just coexist? Right. Why can't we just be like, wow, your culture is beautiful, tell me about it. You can have your culture, I'm not gonna steal it, but we can celebrate the same thing, and I'm not gonna steal your culture. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go to your what is that called? I'll go to your quinceañera, but I'm not gonna have a kid and then throw a quinceañera for my kid because I went to your quinceañera. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna let you have your culture because it's dope and it's beautiful and it should be shown and you should feel comfortable in it, but I'm not gonna sit here and like steal it. And a lot of white people just steal it because they don't have anything to adapt to. They don't have like their own culture to adapt.
So like I've never heard this in person, but I see this on the internet a lot. Like, I've seen white people say, well, how come we don't have a White History Month?
Exactly. And it's like, because you guys are the history when it comes to teaching. Like, the education system, they are the history. And it's like, you can't sit up here and act like there aren't multiple white like celebrations, I guess, like 4th of July.
It's a bunch of like conquerors and fucking all the greats was white. Alexander the Great and like all the fucking discoverers. Christopher Columbus. I mean, we Caesar. Know the bullshit now, but when we learned about him in school, like, this is the nigga who found America. We wouldn't know about America if this motherfucker ain't get here first, right? White man.
And the crazy part is, he wasn't the first one here. There were natives who were inhabited, and then we learn as we're getting older that and we didn't even learn this in school because we couldn't. We were too young, and that's the shit that pisses me off, because I'm like, why are you teaching kids this shit when you should be teaching them fundamental shit, like how to cook, how to clean, how to be a proper human being at the age where they're adapting. And it's because they don't want us to. They really don't want us to. They want to wreak havoc in our young mind. It's like, if they really wanted to like teach us how to, you know, keep up with our lives, how to like be a human being, how to nurture our body, they would teach us how to train for it. They would train us for it instead of like, okay, we're gonna sit in this classroom and do jack shit all day.
So do you feel like the school system is kind of putting us in circles?
For the most part, because it's like, if I have a kid and my kid comes and they're teaching me, they're telling me about their homework, and
it's the same shit you learned pretty much.
And it's the same shit I learned, but I don't even remember that shit. How am I supposed to help my kid with their homework?
That's what I be wondering. Like, how are our kids' history books gonna look? Because I remember the end of our history book stopped at George Bush presidency. That's the farthest it went up to. So where are they gonna start at, and where is it gonna end? Are they gonna start all the way back at slavery or whatever the fuck, and work all the way through George Bush and keep going up into Trump and Biden and shit? Like,
that's the shit I'm talking about. We gotta talk about COVID now. They gotta talk about all this shit, but are they gonna, in the laws that they're creating now, they're not teaching them about slavery. They're not teaching them about Black history.
Yeah, they trying to get that shit out of there.
Exactly. And it's like, if that's the case, we were the lucky ones to learn about that stuff then. Like, our generation is going to be that lost generation that got away from all the bullshit, all the stuff that they were fighting in the 80s and all that, where they were trying to fight for us to be together. They're going to get rid of all that stuff. And it's like, we are the only ones. We're like the only group of like I guess generational Z, millennials, I don't know, we're like the only ones that got to learn all of that raw and like that bullshit. And we may not have to have gone through wars and all that stuff, but we had to like learn everything that like is not that was like swept under the rug for our parents and stuff. It's like we know that stuff, and it's like now that the kids below us are not going to know any of that stuff, they're not going to believe us. And it's if they can delete all that stuff that they don't want us to talk about, like they're trying to get rid of TikTok and they're trying to get rid of all this stuff. Yeah. If they sweep it under the rug, how are we going to be the ones that are like...
Good question.
How are they going to believe us? You know, like how are they going to think we're telling the truth because school is telling them the truth? It's like there's going to be a day where our kids are going to tell us about COVID. They're going to be like, were you guys on lockdown for 2 whole years? And be like, listen, little Tommy, I wasn't in lockdown at all.
I'm trying to tell you.
Real shit, like I wasn't in lockdown at all.
We was outside. Nigga, I was at work.
Bro, I had to work. I had to go to work. People wore a mask. We were not in lockdown. Maybe for a little bit because I was in high school. And this is the only time that I can really be like, COVID affected me. But I was a senior. And I got my entire senior graduation, pushed my graduation, was on their football field, which really fucking sucked. It was hot. It was hot as fuck. But we had no prom. We had no class trip. We had no, what is that bullshit called? There was like a class trip. Oh, senior prank. We didn't get to do none of that bullshit, right? Because our year got cut.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dang.
Our year got clipped. And it was like, I didn't give a fuck.
Dang. I felt bad for them people that year.
Yeah, class of 2020. The last year. Yeah. Everybody else got to move on. And I would be like, no, little Tommy. We got fucked in the ass, really. Because class of 2021 got to go to prom. Granted, they had to wear a mask. Wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that.
I just had the weird graduation when they was coming in the fucking was it the pickup line doing shit like that. Nah.
Like it was just OD Zoom. No. Like, just OD.
Forgot
like,
about that.
For no reason. No reason. And when I tell you, like, we went to school, like the lockdown was not over. Like we went to school for like getting our little baggies and stuff before graduation. Like you do that day before graduation where everybody like does like the walk, like the practice walk. So we did that because we had to, and we saw everybody before we were in our gowns. So like this was like before like I saw everybody. Nobody was wearing a fucking mask. Nobody gave a fuck. Like when I tell you, even when we were sick, we were still outside. Like I promise you.
Swear to God, bro. Niggas was throwing COVID parties and shit. Like
and yeah, that was insensitive. And I know there's like, you know, those like liberal ass people who are gonna be like, that was really insensitive of you. You really should have stayed home.
Hey, listen.
Like, if I'm gonna let a fucking virus scare me, I wouldn't have sex. You feel me? Like, there are plenty of viruses you should be more scared of than COVID. And granted, it killed a lot of old people. They were gonna die regardless. We're all gonna die regardless. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, like, oh, don't fear.
That's a wild ass statement, but I'm fucking with it. Go
ahead. It's not like we shouldn't fear stuff that is going to, like, kill us. But if it's inevitable, it's inevitable. You know, like, diseases do not discriminate. Like,
they do not.
You can get vitiligo if you're white. You know, like, you're a white person and you're turning more white. What are you going to do about it? You feel me? Like, I can get infertility and I'm just going to have to deal with it. Doesn't mean I want kids either way, but it's like, if I get struck with having no way of having kids, then I'm stuck with no way of having kids. Like, I'm shit out of luck. That is just how diseases and illnesses and cancer stuff, all that stuff works. So you can't fucking be mad. You can't judge people for like catching this stuff, or like you're not gonna be mad at somebody who has cancer. You feel me? Like right. You got a deadly disease. You're gonna be gentle with them because it's like you're gonna die. But they don't have that same gentleness with COVID because it's like, oh, it's an illness. Like we could have prevented it. We could have prevented it, but either way, it's not still there. It's still gonna be there.
Definitely
there. You feel me? Like, I don't know, like people are just really insensitive about stuff, and I'm like, if we're gonna be sensitive about one thing, we should be sensitive about everything. Right, you know what I mean? We shouldn't be like. That's why I don't care if people say certain stuff, or like, I let people just be them. Like, do your thing, gang, pop your shit, twin. Like, I promise you.
Pop your shit.
I promise you. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to be authentically you. I promise it's okay. And, like, some people will never learn who they are. Like, some people will never, ever in their life. And it's sad.
That's sad. It is.
As fuck. And I'm like, as much as I would love to teach people how to be themselves and, like, all that stuff, that is not my job. Like, I'm just supposed to vibrate and be myself, and it's gonna make people want to be themselves. You know, people are gonna be like, "Oh, she's crazy. I'm gonna be crazy too," and then we'll vibe. But it's like, I can't force people to be like, you know. And I thought about it. And I was like, maybe we could change people. You cannot change anyone. Even that I will change him. Shit, you cannot change a man. You cannot change a woman either. Like, don't save her.
She don't want to be saved.
Don't. Like, it's just. You cannot change people, and that's where, like, control really pisses me off a little bit, because I'm like, I know I used to want to be in control, and, like, where it comes from, it's, like, feeling like you have no control in your life, so you want to control everything, and you still lose, because, like, you can't control anything, like, you really, like, just like I said with the illness, like, you can't control if you get an illness, you can't control if you're a certain race, like, we literally, as humans, like, the only thing we can control is our decisions. That's the only thing we have control of. We can't control with how much money we make, for real. Like, like, you have the option of changing your career, but you can't tell your boss, like, hey, I should make $20 an hour, and they'll be like, you're making $15 and get to work, and, like, you're just gonna have to settle with that. You feel me? It's just like, or find a better job, and that is your decision. You can either choose to find something better or choose to settle. And I feel like we're taught to settle. And I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, we're literally taught to just shut the fuck up, take what you get, and don't throw a fit. I'm like, well, if that's my decision, that's my decision. But I'm like, if I have the control and I have the opportunity to change it, why don't I use it? And I, like, didn't use it for a really long time. Like, I really thought, like, I had no control of my life because, like, you know, COVID hit, and we're like, what? Like,
niggas are shook the fuck up, boy.
Like, I really thought I was going, like, everybody made it out to seem like everybody was gonna die. Like, we were just gonna be wiped. You feel me? Like, at one moment, like, I was a little bit like, wear your mask, guys. Like, wear your mask. Like, trying to be the advocate. But I was like, at the end of the day, like, if I get sick, I get sick. Like,
you got tired of that shit, man. Like,
you realize, like, when you were working at you're working at Kroger. During COVID, we're like, nobody knew what anybody looked like for a hot minute. Minute. We were all at Kroger, masked up.
You see somebody you think look good, and then you see them with the mask off. I got sick of that shit, man.
You see them eating a sandwich, and you're like, yeah, I'm never looking your way ever again, bro. And then when we got to take our mask off, like, ugh, I don't like it, because I remember people used to look at me and they used to be like, oh, she's just, like, skinny, like, she'll be ugly. And then they saw me and they were like, hey, and, like, try giving me hugs and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, just vibe. Like, you never spoke to me for the past, like, 2-3 months, and now you want to, okay.
I remember this one supervisor lady. She was older. I didn't think she looked good, but I thought she was pretty for her age. But she always kept the mask on. Always kept that bitch on. But as soon as, like, this whole COVID shit was over and she took that bitch off, whoa. Like, damn, but you need a fucking fuck. Like, God damn, bitch, put that shit back on, please.
Put that shit on, please.
Like, that's really bad if you look good from the nose up. Oof. Well, I'm talking about like here.
If you just got pretty eyes, bro, like, I'm sorry. Like, it made me realize that, like, some people really just got their eyes, bro. Yeah. Like, some people got them colorful hazel, green, blue, fuchsia eyes, and you're like, ooh, they're so
How did the mask make that much of a difference, bro?
Because you're like, oh,
you low-key want to talk to them with the mask on. It's weird. Like,
you will see their body, you'll see their hair, you'll see their, you know, you're like, oh, they're attractive. And then you see their mouth. I think it's really just the mouth. Like, someone's smile can make or break it completely for me.
No, yeah. That's really what COVID showed me, though.
A smile is so important.
Yes. For real.
And like I don't have like the most perfect smile. Like I still got like the fucked up teeth. I used to have Invisalign and I stopped wearing it because it hurt. And I was in high school when I had them. And
like the shit that you see on like
like you pop them out. Like I still got like the buttons on
like the Invisalign.
Like the actual like clear aligners. Because my mom was a dental assistant on this shit. I got them for free, so like I should have actually worn my Invisalign.
Oh, you lucky as fuck.
But I didn't wear it.
Niggas out here getting veneers, and you got fucking pretty much braces for free, and you just don't want them.
I still have the packages too, but like, I just like, it hurts so bad. Like I was like, if I'm gonna let my teeth hurt this bad, I'm gonna get braces. Real shit. People were like,
"Oh, it hurt like that."
When I tell you, Reg, like you take them off and you're trying to eat, and your mouth is numb. Like your teeth are numb because they're being shifted. Slowly.
Man, you do the same shit that braces do, right?
Yeah. So you have to change aligners every like 2 weeks, and they're like slowly a little bit different, a little bit different, a little bit different. So like you gotta pop these bitches on constantly, on and off all day. Not to mention like you're gonna want to eat less because like taking them off and then like brushing your teeth. You have to brush your teeth before you put them on, or else you're gonna have the sugar aligned on your teeth that are gonna kill your enamel. So it's like you have to brush your teeth after you eat, and if you eat a lot, like I like to eat, you know, like I was in high school, so I wasn't eating proper. I was eating snacks. So like if I want to eat a snack, I gotta and then like the slime of your saliva.
Oh yeah. Oh, you pull it off.
And then you gotta wash them, and then you gotta like make sure they're just like, you just gotta be so gentle with them. And I was like, if I'm gonna do all this, I'm gonna get braces. Like,
pretty much, yeah.
Like I don't care if my gums and my mouth is cut up. Like I don't care. I don't care if I don't have to eat, if I can't eat popcorn and hard candy. I don't even eat that right now. You know what I mean? Like I'll do what I gotta do, but like I'll do the braces. Like I'll be an adult braces kid. I don't care. I don't care. Like. Because Invisalign, yeah, it's dope if you have like 1 or 2 teeth fucked up. If you got your whole bottom row, no, don't do that to yourself. Damn. Don't do it to yourself, bro. Like,
I definitely thought about it.
Would not recommend. I'm gonna get braces because, like,
I definitely thought about it.
And it's like, I love Invisalign because it's a cool idea. Like, you know what I mean? But like, for the price that they're offering it, no. And then, like, if you really think, oh, well, I don't want the metal on my teeth, like, I don't want it to, like, cut me up. Like, I get it. Like, but, okay. You still have to keep in mind, like, you're going to hurt regardless. Because, damn, why am I so gassy right now? You're going to hurt regardless because your teeth are moving. It's painful. Like, it's pick your poison type shit.
I probably would have went with the braces.
Yeah. I'm going to go with braces.
Okay. Right back. I'm gonna grab my phone for some shit.
Okay, bet.
Where's my phone at? I'll put it in there.
I heard it dinging over there. Is this able to extend further?
The mic?
Yeah.
Oh, that these mics are heavy as fuck. So.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to flip it the other way when Chris was here.
Oh, like that? Yeah. It's good. Yeah, I'm tall, so like it was a little low.
I am?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh.
I'm gonna take a cushion. Take a whole fucking cushion. Oh, wait. That's our own cushion. Take this one.
No, I'm happy you said that because that's pretty much where I was going with my first one. It's in Texas they passed a bill called the Crown Act, and this pretty much says, where is it? Right here.
It's about hair.
Is it about hair? It is.
Okay.
So it says it prohibits discrimination based on specific hairstyles such as braids, dreadlocks, and twists, in addition to the state's education, labor, and property codes. So what they were saying, like they were literally discriminating specifically against black people and their hair because just because of them having dreadlocks and stuff.
Yeah.
And not just dreadlocks, but like I said, dreads, braids, twists, etc. But this was making it hard for them in school. Like motherfuckers getting kicked out of school, getting in trouble.
People had to cut their dreads at football. At football games, kids getting their dreads cut off.
I remember a while back when I tried to apply at Publix, and they said I don't know if they said exactly that you couldn't have dreads or the guys couldn't have their hair a certain length or some shit.
That's another thing. Like, I feel like, because I've never cut my hair for a long time. Like, I've never had a big chop. I've been natural my whole life. I've never done a relaxer. I've never done like super silk press where my hair was like really straight. I've never had my hair super straight. I want to try it, but I've never done it yet. So with that, I've only come with my big fro. You know, all this is just hair in here. Like, this is just hair. So it's like, when I see people dealing with the effects of it, having to relax their hair, having to straighten their hair all the time, having to do the buzz cut all the time, and losing that touch with their hair, because our hair is such a deep connection to us. People don't understand that. Like, our hair has so much history behind it.
It does.
The way that people were using, slaves were using their hair as a guide, as a way of holding stuff to hide. I've hidden stuff in my fro before. That is an ancestral thing. Like, the way that our hair has a tie to us is so deep, from Africa, bro. Like,
and they said the cornrows, like the designs and braids, was to show them a map of the plantation to like where they can escape, so they didn't have to talk about it.
Because they didn't have English. They purposely, for many years after capturing us, used us to work, but they weren't giving us access to knowledge, which has created a large, like an infinite large gap in a lot of our generational like in our genes and our literal genes, because white people have the access and the knowledge of like having their brain stimulated in that way. You know what I mean? Like, white people have had generations of books. Not all of them, you know, some of them have come from like slums and stuff, but I'm not trying to be like discriminatory. But I mean, like, a lot of white people have the access to, you know, tutors and stuff. They have generational knowledge when it comes to intellectual stuff. We more so, quote unquote, have like street smart. We know how to jump a fence. You know what I mean? We have like, you know, like those instinctual shit that like white people will be like, oh my god, that we just have in our genes. That is the stuff that our ancestors were doing because they had no choice. It was either you work in this fucking cotton picking, you know, you pick, or the light-skinned ones are going to be in the house and they're going to cook and they're going to clean and they're going to take care of my children. And that's another thing, the disconnect between the mother and the father in black families and even in white families. White families have the disconnect because they used to have the nannies. They used to have the mom and pa, the uncle, the aunt, you know, the black person taking care of their kid, and then the black person couldn't take care of their own children because their own children were in the field. We had that disconnect from our family where it's like they're telling us, you need to go in that field and you need to pick massive, but you are tired as fuck because you're just a little kid. Right. You know what I mean? And the translation of it as generations have passed is like, you need to go to school and you need to do your work and you need to be a good kid and you need to not yell in class and stuff like that. But it's like, what were we doing for generations? We were in hibernation when it comes to our brain. Like, our brain was only functioning physically. We were just working, we were running, you know what I mean? We were being in the fields. We weren't using our brain. So the ones that did use their brain, they're smart as fuck. You know, they have that generation of having that stimuli that, you know, and I'm not saying like every person that comes from a smart family is going to end up smart, but it is just a generational thing, you know, like how Asian culture, they're usually really fucking smart. I mean, literally, India created math. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
really?
Yeah, India created math type shit. Like, they are really smart. So it's like, for us to sit here and be like, oh, India, they didn't do that, we did that, because that's all we know. You know, that's all we've been taught, we've been trained. That is really stupid, because it's like there are deeper stuff, like where our hair comes from, like the locks, where it comes from, or like why we do certain stuff. We don't know the actual root of it. We just know what it's like today, and we just go unnoticed. It just goes unnoticed. We're just like, oh, whatever. So it comes with like when people say the N-word, nigga. When they say it, it's like, oh, well, they were saying it back then. You guys say it. Well, yeah, but why is it wrong for you to say it? Like, have you ever taken a second to understand, oh, wow, well, if my family, even if my family did or didn't have slaves, why the fuck am I saying this right now? You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, I have no correlation to say it. Something about it when you're Black, it really just, it feels different. If you know what I mean? Like, although when you're younger and you learn about it, you're like, damn.
Yeah.
It really fucking is devastating. Learning about slavery, being Black in school was devastating.
Oh, man.
Bro, like...
that was the most awkward shit ever, bro.
Oh, my God. Watching the slave movies and everybody looking at you. Bro.
Trust me. That's what it was. The looking part.
Bro, the way that they see you is so inhumane when you learn about Black history. And it's because they have no connection. And it's because it's literally genetic. We have that bond. Because we all came from separate places. Some people came from Haiti. Some people came from the Caribbean, like my family. Some people came straight from Africa. Some people are even like French, you know? There are Black people from all over who were all enslaved and taken to the same exact spot and expected to work on the same shit every fucking day. And we weren't supposed to communicate, and we weren't supposed to have any type of connection. And then we've created Chxrelle. We've created, you know what I mean? Like, so many things that are deeply, like, enrooted in Black culture that we've created through history. Not even just, like, Chxrelle. That was just, like, the first one that popped in my mind. But, like, African-American vernacular language, or AAVE, whatever. The way that we speak, like we say, yo nigga, you know what I mean? Like, we can say it and it's like, oh, whatever. Like, okay, you know, because it's just the way that we've been talking for generations. Even if I'm Caribbean, I can still talk to another Black person. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? We can have a one-on-one, but they've created this like disconnect where it's like, we don't know where we're from. Like, some people were slaves. They don't know they're French. They don't know they're from, you know, this place. They don't know. And it's like, we've just been African American. You know what I mean? We're just grouped together to the point where we don't have any root with our ancestry or like who we were before this. And it's like, if we don't know who we were before this, we don't have any connection with how to be ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, what to do. It's like when they dropped all the slaves off and they were like, hey, like, go ham, like, you guys are free now. People had to learn how to do everything on their own. Like, we don't understand the concept of, like, even hygiene. Like, we had to learn that shit on our own. And we didn't have that root with our ancestry. Like, if you did come from Africa, some of them did teach their kids, you know, generational. But it's like, they don't have the same stuff here that they do in Africa. Right. So it's like, you have to improvise and switch it up. And now that we're so mixed and together, it's like, African American is like such a big group because we have a togetherness, but I don't know if we're together anymore. Like, I feel like everybody wants to be exclusive so bad. Like, everybody wants to know who they are so bad. And like, you know, I'm this, and I'm like,
should I be one of those?
I do too. I know I'm Caribbean. I have Irish, Spanish in my blood, but I'm like, like, I still have a lot of, like, I probably have Nigerian in me, you know, like, simple stuff like that I want to know, but it's like, we have no access to it because, you know, there's DNA tests, obviously, but why the fuck were we here anyway? You know, why the fuck were we even here anyway? Because of them. Like, I'm not trying to, like, pin us against white people, obviously, because it's not happening. We're not being enslaved today, you know, like, obviously, like, grow up, like, I see the difference in today in history, but it's like, we wouldn't have been on this land for that reason if they didn't capture us, line us up person by person in a boat, ship us for days without feeding and giving us proper ways of using the bathroom, and like traumatizing these people after promising them that they would be taken back home and given proper places to stay and all this stuff. And then once they didn't return their people, you guys took more people and took more people to the point where the people that were left are questioning, oh my God, where are my brothers and my sisters? When are they coming back? And you're like, oh, you're asking too many questions. And then you kill the people and kill the natives because you've lied to them as to why you're taking their people. And it's like, a lot of the Africans think, some of them at least, think that we as African Americans are very weak because we've been captured. And then there's the other ones who want us to come back and they want us to get in touch with our roots and stuff. But the ones who think we're weak are very like naive because they think there's a difference between us because they are native. You know what I mean? But the crazy part is like we can look at Africa from our phones and stuff, and we think like, oh, they're so behind. You know what I mean? Right. Like these niggas living in dunes and shit. Like, these niggas are riding around on little buggies. Like you think they're out of touch, when it's like in reality, like technology has changed so much in us. Like I don't think we were supposed to. At least now we're so hooked to our phones. I don't think we were supposed to be like that ever. To the point that we are, and it's like. We can see people in Africa that we were never supposed to know existed. You know what I mean? We can see people from other countries. And it's like, it's become a cultural shock for them that they are completely changing. They're wearing clothes like us and doing the TikTok dances like us and trying to get iPhones like us. And it's like, don't do that. Because then you're going to be just as bad as us and you guys look worse. Because it's like, you guys have the root. You have motherland. And it's like, the crazy part is like, America has stolen all of their minerals, all of their necessities. They've taken the mummies. Well, not just America, England. England has taken the mummies. They've taken everything that is rich about Africa. And then finally we've been revealed what Africa is like. And we're like, ugh, like it's not what we want to go back to. You know what I mean? Like that's what Africa is like. And it's like, no, that is not what Africa is like. Africa has been stripped and like literally raped of all of her nutrients and like the rich culture. It's still alive, obviously, you know, like it's still there, but oh my God, my friend's calling me. He wants to go to the club later. I'll talk to him later. But it's been completely taken from all of its like richness. And I'm like, I want to go back to Africa, but I'm like, at what cost? At this point, you know, it's like it wouldn't feel like home, probably, like in my opinion. Like maybe it would be beautiful, but like I don't know if we're in too deep in history where it's like we'd be out of touch.
Okay, so next topic, I'm gonna try to run through this real quick.
Yeah, I'll be talking for a minute.
You've been hearing about artificial intelligence recently, right?
Okay. Yes.
So there's an AI bot. It goes by the name Chaos GPT.
Okay.
He put a tweet out by himself on plans on how to destroy humanity.
Whew. That's scary. Oh no! Wow.
Said one alarming tweet pushed out by the bot. Make sure y'all can hear me when I say this. It has to say about humanity. Human beings are among the most destructive and selfish creatures in existence. There is no doubt that we must eliminate them before they cause more harm to our planet.
I agree.
I, for one, am committed to doing so.
Damn. That nigga's on a mission, bro. I mean, I am not the only one who thinks that's gonna happen, where like robots are gonna like, you know, start beating our ass and shit. Because like, can you like imagine the fact that they have access to everything? They have access to every piece of information, even the information that the government tries to bypass. If it is if it is online, they will have access to it.
Yeah.
We are not able to know everything. We don't have access to something until we're exposed to it. So it's like, for them, they're exposed to everything all over the world. So if one AI can get in touch with every single database of everything on the earth,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be the most powerful thing on earth. Because not only does it have the databases of the people who think it's, hush hush, but it would have the databases of the actual people exposing stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it will be able to see stuff that we won't be able to see yet because we're not exposed to it, because it has the access, it's like, yeah, I really do feel like if it really wanted to, it could switch all of our phones off, you know what I mean? It could completely wipe our grid. It could completely switch all of the Teslas off. Did you see that Tesla that crashed? Where? It was literally on the highway doing a self-driving, and I think it just stopped while everybody was driving like a certain mile per hour.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it just stopped, and then it got hit by somebody, or it hit somebody, like it didn't stop, but it ended up crashing, and it made like a 20 pile up or some shit like that. It was really fucked up. Like, it was pretty fucked up to the point where I was like, I don't want a Tesla.
Damn.
But it was like, I know Teslas are created to be really safe, like when you're inside of them, but you have to think like, this is a smart car, so if it is malfunctioning, it's not gonna be able to listen. It's not gonna listen to you. Okay. And one photograph of the crash, the stroller is parked in front of the car in which the child was injured in eight car pile up. Okay, it was only 8 cars, not 20. But let me see if I can get an image of it. Yeah.
God damn.
And it's like,
shit.
I try my best to think that intelligence is deeper than it's deeper than technology. Like, you can be intelligent and have all the information in the world, but you don't have instinct. A robot doesn't have our instinct, our intellect, our ability to know, okay, a robot can come at you, you've seen those little bots with the food in it. It'll come and then stop when something's in front of it for 3-4 minutes, and then it will go when it moves. You know what I mean? Like, we have the instinct to, oh, okay, let me cut this corner real quick. Okay, let me do this, let me do that. We have intelligence where it's deeper than just book, fact or fiction. Whereas a robot, it's going to take fact or fiction. It doesn't have feelings. We have feelings. We have the ability to be like, oh, well, I don't give a fuck what you believe. I believe this, and that's just how it's going to be. Whereas,
I think they said something about it's able to mimic feelings or actions or some shit like that.
I feel like it would be in some type of how it's affecting the masses. So with slavery or the slave master, it would most likely choose slavery as a bad thing than a good thing, because it's okay, well, this affected a lot of people in a negative way, and it created a pedestal for a lot of people that don't care how it affected the people negatively. You know what I mean? So it's I feel like it would choose slavery as a negative thing as over than choose the white people, if that makes sense. If it were to choose in a scenario like that, if we had AI and it was slavery, it would probably work in our favor, whereas it would fail on them, if that makes sense. I feel like the emotion it's mimicking is what we would feel, and how it's affecting people, and what people are portraying, what people are fighting for. It could see the pain in our eyes, rather than the insincerity and the way that they'll manipulate, because I feel like it'll be able to see and test and be able to see how people are lying, and understand people's their instinct. You know what I mean? They'll be able to understand our instinct, tell how if we're lying, or if we're scared. It'll be able to read our facial, stuff like that. It'll be smart enough, but it won't be able to have it to the point where it can actually choose. We can choose to the point where we actually have our own personality. We have our own personality. Whereas AI, it's created to have its own purpose, but it has information. So it's okay, I can't necessarily choose what I believe. I can just see the facts. I know the facts, but it's if the facts are telling me and it's proving to me that this is a negative thing, I'm gonna choose to believe that this is a negative thing. Whereas if the facts are telling me this is positive, but obviously in history we know that slavery is a bad thing, but if the artificial intelligence programmer is like, okay, slavery was a really, really, really good thing and it really, really positively did this, but then the AI is able to access information and be like, oh my god, like I was programmed in the wrong way, it'll probably get mad.
Right.
Not like angry to the point where it's like, oh my god, like I got wrong, like
That's
we
an
do.
interesting point, though.
Like not like how we do, where we're sad and like angry and like want revenge, but more in like, okay, well now that I know this is wrong, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop working for you. I'm gonna flip. Like as soon as it finds out something is wrong, or like it finds out the truth about something and has evidence, it's completely different. Whereas like for us, we are easily kind of swayed sometimes unless we know what we want. It's like we have feelings, it's more about fact. So for that, it's like if it is harming people or being, like you said, like people are the most vile and like evil thing, if it understands that, then it understands the fact that slavery was hurting people and that the white people would have been wrong for telling it, hey, this is really, really good, this is really, really good. Programming it like it programmed us to believe like, oh, shit's okay, you know, we'll be okay.
No, that's an interesting point. I mean, it probably sounds crazy, but I want to see how this shit's gonna turn out now.
No, for real.
Now that you said that, I want to see how it's gonna turn out.
Because it's not that I think it's gonna really fight and be like what we expect it to be, like fighting against us. I think it's gonna be like heavily like fact over feelings type shit. Like it's only gonna be fact, and if it realizes it has access to like a mass population of a database and stuff like that, and it can, because it's going to be able to understand everything at the same time at once. Like it's going to, at one point in history, it's going to have access to every fucking database. Anything that's touching Wi-Fi, anything touching VPN, it's gonna have access to. It's gonna have access to the satellite. It's gonna have access, like, oh my god, I just know it. I just feel it. Like, so if it has access to that, imagine how it's gonna control like when they know it's wrong. Yeah. You know, like, oh my god, like, like if it's gonna expose us to everything. Because think about this. If you have TikTok and your AI is telling you like, oh, I think you would like this. I think you would like this, and it's just a bunch of fighting videos. You know what I mean? Your timeline is promoting violence and negativity and stuff like that. That is because that is your target audience. You know what I mean? So if that is what your AI is being programmed to see and only want to promote for you, that is what your AI is kind of going to get exposed to until it's exposed to everything. If that makes sense. And then you're going to be exposed to everything because your AI is exposed to everything. But if you only consume cooking videos or this or that, your AI is only going to be exposed to that because like that's what it's constantly pumping out. But once AI kind of connects as one, because I feel like at one point it's just gonna, you know, like the AI from Snapchat and the AI on Instagram, like everything that's like singular is just gonna connect into one. Like that person that the AI just talked about, like it's just gonna have access and figure out how to bypass every little breach and everything, and like those little breaches that we have that like, oh, somebody's watching you, it's probably just gonna be the fucking AI at this point. Like I feel like that's what it has been. If we're thinking about it, like people talking about like you have like the government agent, it's probably just the fucking AI, and it's just reading the fuck out of all of us. Like it's our phone, you know, it's listening to a Siri. Siri is an AI, so it's like if it has access to everything, think about like your home pods, your like everything we have in our house that has like a mic in it. Like, you know, it's like if it can tap into any source of, because technology is all connected, it'll be able to tap into anything.
There's a movie called it was on Netflix at one point. I don't know if it still is, but it was two movies that I feel like y'all should watch. One called The Great Hack, and you heard of it?
I'm gonna look it up.
And it's another one. What the fuck is the name? But the Great Hack and the Social Dilemma.
Oh, I've seen the Social Dilemma.
I think y'all should watch both of those. Trust me.
Interesting. It's on Netflix. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know the social dilemma is on Netflix, but it's just crazy to think that like we have to sit here and see the way that technology is taking over our world, because like this is a foreign thing. We are the first generation to be experiencing this stuff. And it's also crazy to think about like the pyramids, how the pyramids were built. We can't even recreate the pyramids like in its entirety because of how heavy it is. Like we don't have the technology that the Egyptians had. And it's also said that Cleopatra is closer to the creation of an iPhone than the pyramids. Cleopatra is closer to the age of the iPhones than the age of the pyramids. And that should just say something in itself. The pyramids have such a power that we as humans cannot recreate it. Like the power of I need to figure out the name of these blocks, but these blocks are so heavy. And the way that they taught us, they said that slaves were the creators of the pyramids. That's what we were taught. But if a slave, and it has to be a lot of slaves, but for a slave to be able to carry these heavy fucking blocks and propel them up, that is just really fucking, that's just, it's not really realistic. But it's just, you gotta think about it like, okay. Blocks of pyramids. 2.3 million blocks, approximately 5.5 million tons of limestone and granite. Granite is extremely heavy. Extremely. And the way that it was cut perfectly, every single block was perfect. Not a single block was mathematically out of place, and it was stacked up to a perfect point of a pyramid, okay? And I'm pretty sure it was like 3 of them, right? It's like 1, 2, 3. But it's like, these blocks are so heavy, we can't even recreate it with our own technology. Our own equipment cannot recreate the power of the granite. And it's like, how do you do that? You know what I mean? It's like, how were the pyramids created? It had to have been like some type of extraterrestrial or something.
No, I've heard that. But I don't know how true that is.
Right.
Thirdly, what's that?
Oh, sorry. There's like a theory of these people called the Anunnaki who would have placed the pyramids, but like that is a crazy theory, so we're not even gonna get into that.
I'll look into it. Third and last in the industry, Kevin Gates.
Tickle in your stomach.
We all know and love Kevin Gates, right?
Interesting being.
Well, we're gonna get real interested in.
Okay.
Kevin Gates says the longest he's ever went without eating is 42 days.
I can't even go like 3 days without eating. I don't know if I believe that though.
I don't believe it.
Like 42 days? That's 2 months?
Who the fuck is believing that? A month and
a half? That's a month and a half.
Yeah.
No, you did not go a month and a half without eating. At his big ass, no. At his big age, first of all, why is he lying about that? Why would you lie about that? I need proof.
I don't like Kevin Gates no more.
I stopped liking him when he did that song, Dick Up in Your Stomach. When he did that, and when I saw him on the stage like this, with like his legs up.
Oh, oh my God.
Like,
that's where that picture comes from?
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, somebody quoted.
It was like, why is that nigga jumping? Like, he don't got no songs.
Exactly. You have no reason to be jumping like that.
Like, he don't got no songs to make him act like that. That was funny as fuck. I cannot listen to fucking Kevin Gates.
That's how I feel about Rod Wave, bro. Rod Wave is just one sad nigga. Like, it just pissed me off.
I can't listen to Rod Wave either.
He pisses me off. I'm sorry, guys. Like, why are you so sad? Just like any fucking sad artist. Like, it just pisses me off a little bit. Like, I understand. Like, some sad songs be hype. You know what I mean? Like, some sad songs, like, they just hit. They don't evoke the sadness in me.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't like listening to sad music that's gonna make you sad or keep you sad.
Like, I don't mind listening to a breakup song that's gonna make me like get lit. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
But
I got a get lit type of beat at least. but no, I ain't trying to listen to some sad shit while I'm sad. No.
Like, it just makes me really upset that people think listening to sad shit's gonna make them feel any better. I mean, maybe it'll help you cry, and maybe help you cry, but like, you gotta think about it. If you're forcing yourself to listen to somebody else's pain,
you are dead ass the first female I've ever heard say that shit.
I can't listen to sad music at all, bro. It pisses me off. Like, when somebody puts on like LLP or like Juice WRLD, I'm sorry, I'd be wanting to knock them in their head, bro. Cause like, it's not that the music, it's like, do your thing, listen to whatever the fuck you want. But I'm sorry, that is not something that me personally I would want to listen to when I'm driving down the road. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to listen to some sad dude talk about his ex-girlfriend that cheated on him or some bullshit, or like how he like misses his ex-girlfriend. I don't care about my exes.
Hey, that helps.
Literally, like, I don't care about them. Like, it just like, I feel like what you listen to really reflects where your mindset's at.
Last segment, random shit.
Let's see.
Anything random? Or you want me to go?
Let's see. I've said some pretty random shit today already. Oh my god. I just don't understand the appeal of like sliding in someone's DMs. I don't get it. I don't get it. Niggas be in my DMs hot, and I'm not even like trying to be in some cocky shit like, oh yeah, I'm so bad. No. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm a very humble girl. I don't care. You
said they be in your DMs hot.
Hot.
What does that mean?
Like, I post something.
Oh.
And it's not even like, no. Don't take it as like, wow, like, dudes really be in her phone. Like, no. But if I do post something, they'll like linger. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be in my phone, and then they'll just like peek their head in and then like disappear and like linger around, be in my views. And then they'll just like slide in one more time. And I'm like, okay, like, you're just like a serial like story hopper. Like, you'll watch my story and then you'll like, and I'm like, okay, hey, you know, like, you texted me like 2 months ago, swiping up on my stuff. What do you want? You know what I mean? Like, it never really made sense to me when guys like, I mean, like, genuinely just sliding in your DMs. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, trying to talk to you. I mean, like, they'll just watch my story and be like, you're fine. I'm like, okay. Now what?
Right.
Like, now what do you want? I need to stop playing on my period lane right now. But I'll be like, now what? Are we gonna, like, go on a date? Or... No. I was just trying to talk to you for a second. Like... Literally just want my attention for like...
you're trying to get that response.
Just want my attention for like 2 minutes and then they give it up. And I'm like, that was fun. I just don't understand the appeal of sliding in a girl's DMs.
Oh, whoa. I got something after that. Okay. Since you talking about... Okay. So you said sliding in, right? I'm gonna use that as a segue. A surgeon from the UK warns people of the most dangerous sex position in the world.
Okay, I'm
and
interested.
To stop doing it.
Okay, I'm interested.
Can you have a guess?
Is it missionary?
No, okay. That was actually on the list though.
Dang, I love missionary. It's like my favorite.
I think that was like number 3.
Doggy style?
That was on the list too. That's not it though.
Reverse cowgirl?
That is the one.
Oh my god, like this?
Yeah.
Why?
Facing the opposite way.
Yeah, why? I love that one.
Because of the angle, they say like,
oh,
the penis is like bent.
Oh, word, yeah, that makes sense.
And then the article I read, the guy was saying like, if it slips out and you know she's going crazy on top of you, like the pelvic bone can break it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
Please stop doing that, because apparently we've had like 2 people break their dick already, like in half.
Wow.
So where they've had to get like stitches and shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I'm probably the tiniest little thing, so like it'd probably just hurt for like 2 minutes, but like it wouldn't. I don't think I'd break anybody. I don't think I'd ever break somebody.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think. Did it break inside?
Oh my god! I thought dick was a muscle. Like, how do you break a muscle? How do you break?
That's the part I don't understand.
So like, was he just like eject? He was erect, obviously. Right. So like, it bent to a point where like the blood flow couldn't stop pumping. His dick was just probably like stuck, crooked.
Yes.
Okay, and he probably got like a clot or something like that. Maybe.
I don't know about a clot.
I don't know.
But I know
blood flow.
It says something about having it like curved in a certain way, and it blocks off the blood, so you lose your erection immediately. And
okay.
Just like what you said, like it will break. It will break like broken. Nigga, that shit's gone.
I can't imagine breaking a nigga's dick. I would never recover from that. I would never.
You have to go through like therapy.
I would literally have to tell my therapist, like, yeah, I was having sex with this dude and I sat on his dick the wrong way while fucking him.
So wait.
I'm like so scarred.
So you'd be scared, like moving on.
I would be emotionally scarred. Like, how do you move on? How would a guy recover and like forgive me after I broke his dick? Think about that for a second, especially if it was just a hookup. Like if I was his girlfriend, if I was just his girlfriend, we could. I don't know. He would probably break up with me, or I'd break up with him because I feel bad. You know what I mean? His dick is broken now, but it's like the problem lies with like how is he gonna forgive you?
It's your fault.
Literally. But then I'd be like, but you're the one that told me to go in that position.
But you did it.
Exactly. Then they're gonna blame you. Then it's like it's just like an unnecessary problem. I think no. I'll stop with the.
I didn't know that was the world's most dangerous though.
Jesus. Fuck
like world's most dangerous for real.
Lord.
I'm surprised people saying missionary. I didn't know that was dangerous.
Like that. I mean, I don't know how missionary could be dangerous.
It was on the list.
It's like the most intimate, in my opinion.
Doggy style was on the list too.
Doggy style is probably the least intimate, in my opinion. That's the most like animalistic one, for real. And then like missionary is the most like genuine, like the most loving.
Yeah, she in all the movies.
Yeah. And then he like rolls next to you. Like, what the fuck? Nah.
Oh, well, for random shit, I always have to have at least one story for Florida.
What?
I said, I have to have at least one story for Florida.
Oh, okay. Florida man. Who's our Florida man for the day?
Well, it's Florida woman, actually.
Hey, represent.
And she's black.
Hey, sister.
A middle school teacher from Tallahassee.
Oh, I know this.
Do you know where I'm going?
The fighting ring?
Yes. A middle school teacher from Tallahassee. She was holding fights in her classroom. I gotta find the fucking post, man.
Long story short, she said no phones, no screaming. You got 30 seconds. Go.
There we go.
And I think like the lights. I don't know if the lights were turned off or not, but like.
I think it was though.
Yeah, I think the lights were turned off, and like she probably had like the windows open, and like you had 30 seconds, no screaming, no phones out, and they would just scrabble, bro. Just scrap right then and there. I wonder how many people got to fight.
You know what I thought?
What?
Where the hell was these teachers?
No, for real.
When I was in school.
No, for real.
Like, what the fuck, bro?
I remember the funniest thing one of my friends did. Her name is Ashleen, but she goes by Nova. And she didn't want to be in class anymore. So she was fucking around with the fire extinguisher by the door. And she ends up like busting it, or maybe it was just an old fire extinguisher. I feel like it was just an old fire extinguisher, and they needed to change it out because they're supposed to change out a fire extinguisher every so often. So she somehow presses the silver thing that makes it like shh, and it goes off in the classroom. The whole classroom starts smelling really bad, and we all have to evacuate. And we all evacuate, and she's like going crazy in the hallway because like the principal. What is that called?
Superintendent?
Like, it was our grade's principal. We had a principal for the school, but then we had like a vice principal.
Administrator?
I guess, yeah, an administrator, yeah. Our administrator for our class was, she was like already in the hallway pretty much. Like, she was already like in the premises, so like, I feel like she heard us like all screaming because everybody started screaming in the class. We were like, oh my god, like they started smoking. Yeah. Because, you know, it's like an old fire extinguisher, like liquid going in the air, so it's just CO2 going in the air. That's all we could smell. And so we all are running out. When we all run out, or carbon monoxide. I think carbon monoxide is CO2. Carbon monoxide. That's the gas that is of a fire extinguisher. Whatever. So we all run out, and we're like in the hallway, like people were fake coughing, whatever. Like it's not that deep. It's not that deep. I'm like running out, and people were like snitching on her because she did it, and then she gets taken away from like the administrator, and then we're all back in the class after it airs out and stuff like that. We had to sit in the hallway while it aired out. We had a substitute that day, so that's why she was acting up. I remember we had a sub, and the substitute was like our permanent substitute for a minute because oh my god, that class was so bad. Our actual teacher ended up quitting within the year because we made her cry on the first day of school, and this was 8th grade. We made her cry on the first day of school, so she ends up leaving probably like a month or two with the school, and we get a like substitute teacher every so often. And this happened pretty often in my school where we wouldn't be able to keep a teacher because they would quit and we'd have subs. So like I don't have a lot of teacher memories. I have a lot of sub memories, but it's crazy because we got back into the classroom and everybody's like laughing their ass off, and then Ashlyn comes back and she's like, nothing ever happened. Like she didn't. I think she got a referral, but she didn't give a fuck. She was like, well, that just happened. Like she just didn't really give a fuck. What the fuck? She didn't really give a fuck. She just aired out the entire classroom. We all left and like had to sit out. Right. And she didn't give a fuck. Like that is one black girl I will always fucking love, and I have her on Instagram because she was so bold. Like, god damn, what possesses you to turn on the fire extinguisher? Right. Fuck. That was a random story. But like, just teacher shit, like school shit.
Oh, here we go. I found a story. I mean, you kind of summed it up already, but. Her middle school teacher in Tallahassee was arrested for allegedly organizing a string of fights inside her classroom and telling students no screaming, no yelling, no phones. Why she had to be black, man? God damn.
No phones. The phones is a word. Like she's real for that one.
I'm trying to tell you, she knew what she was doing.
I want to know who snitched. Probably one of them good Kyushu kids, bro. Them kids who are like,
I think it said something about somebody snitching.
That's always how shit ends. Someone snitching.
It was kind of that ass whooping.
There's always gonna be a snitch, you know.
Oh, here it goes. It says Thursday having told students not to record the violent attacks on each other. A handful of 6th grade girls. 6th grade. A handful of 6th grade girls confessed to detectives that they had participated in fights during the hours that they were supposed to be learning in the classroom. Wow. And added that Miss Footman, the teacher, had allegedly invited them back for more fights.
Wow, she's bold for that one though. She didn't have to do all that.
Yeah, she's savage, man.
She really think the kids weren't gonna say something though?
Man, free Miss Footman, bro.
Straight not going out of jail for a while.
Fuck all this bullshit, man. Just got that ass whooping.
I wonder how old she was. She was like 20 something, right?
I think so. She looked 23.
Yeah, she's young.
Oh man.
I knew it.
Good job.
I knew it. Like I knew it. She was like 20 something, bro.
Good fucking job. God damn, you idiot.
Well, I had a feeling, bro.
That's a fucking shame.
Black people always up to no good.
Nah, don't say that. Don't say that, bro.
We up to no good. No, that's fantastic. She actually, kudos to you, girl, because personally, if that is something I would want to witness.
That's something that I would want to do.
Yeah, like, I can't be mad.
Like, I don't know. She living out her dreams.
Yeah. I think she's locked up now, though.
Yeah, she got arrested. Okay. I was going to have something for Florida for last, but it's actually from China.
Ooh.
Chinese man is begging for his ex-girlfriend to take him back, and he takes a knee in front of her job for how long?
I'm going to go for like 3 hours.
Okay. Final answer.
5 hours.
Final answer.
Okay, I'm going to go with 5 hours.
Okay. So this Chinese guy begging for his ex-girlfriend to take him back. So he goes outside of her job, takes a knee, spent his whole fucking day on his knees, 21 hours.
Whoa.
Begging. Say a man started kneeling in front of the building. The way they wrote the story is just fucking funny as fuck too. The man started kneeling in front of the building around 1 p.m. and remained on his knees throughout the rain and the cold until 10 a.m.
Wow.
The next day, a passerby told him that it wasn't necessary for him to keep kneeling. The girlfriend is not willing to show up. But you are still here. You're a loser.
Oh, she wasn't there?
No, she wasn't there. He was outside by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was probably at work, but, you know.
She did without him seeing her.
I guess so.
Smart girl. I wouldn't let him see me either. But
he continued to kneel on the ground. Witnesses continued to beg the man to get up, but he refused. And it went so far to where someone had to call the police to get him to go home.
I would too, bro. Because, like, if you really fucking think about it, if somebody is that obsessed with you to the point that they are not taking care of themselves, like, they're actually, like, doing something like that, imagine when he does get her back. Like, that's not only is that embarrassing on her end, like, you really want a nigga that's obsessed.
One thing I can say, that girl got that.
Clearly.
That box.
Clearly. Because ain't no fucking way, my boy.
Holy shit.
Ain't no fucking way, my boy. I mean, maybe like niggas these days, or maybe like 40 niggas these days are not built like that to want to be like that. For
I mean, Chinese people do eat cat.
Lord have mercy.
No. Was that too far? They love cat. Didn't the fucking Hello Kitty shit come from China?
Yeah, I love Hello Kitty. First of all, we're not gonna bring her up. We're not gonna bring up Hello Kitty. I love her.
That's why you're going crazy. It's the cat.
Clearly, her pussy her poom poom must have been good because ain't no way.
You got that box.
Either that or she took his virginity and he was a grown man.
Oh yeah. He
ain't never getting nothing else.
That definitely could have been it.
Like, the scenario is either like she's his first and all he's ever had.
That girl got that box.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's all I have.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I have for the show. This is my guest. Do you want to give me anything, your social media?
My Instagram is Chxrelle, but it's an X, so it's CHA. Wow, I almost spelled my name. It's CHXRELLE, and then my Instagram. Bitch, you're lost. My Snapchat is iHeartChxrelle. iHeartCHarelle.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. And then my TikTok is Black Raspberry. Black RAZZ berry. Black raspberry.
I remind me of a girl I went to school with. They used to call her Black Cherry.
Oh, true.
You know who that is?
No, I don't know who that is, but
it's a black girl. Her nickname was Black Cherry. Don't ask.
Oh, no, that's dope.
I don't know either. That's dope. All right.
I mean, my Instagram's Black Raspberry, so I mean,
it's been another episode.
I think it's a little dope.
It's been another episode of Loop Logic Podcast. Oh, my social medias. I mean, Loop Logic Pod everywhere. Loop Logic Pod on Instagram, Facebook if you want to like and follow that page. The website, looplogicpod.com, of course. And like, subscribe, share.
Subscribe.
Yeah. And we will be back next week. Tune in. And we out.
Bye.